Hi, teachers. Today's focus question is, how do you decide which number to decompose? And in this lesson, our objective reads, I can add a pair of two-digit numbers with varied sums in the ones. Now, teachers, for the last few lessons, students have learned to use two different strategies. One of the strategies is making the next 10 to find the sum. And the second strategy was grouping tens to find the sum. In both of these strategies, students worked with two-digit numbers in order to find the sum. Today's lesson is going to show you how both of these strategies look and how we can help our students decide which of those two strategies is easier for them to use. Now let's look at this one. 27 plus 13 equals blank. For this number sentence, we're going to use the grouping 10 strategy. When thinking about grouping 10, I want to make sure I think about which of the numbers is going to be easier for me to break into tens and ones in order to group a 10. Usually, it's easier to break the smaller number because it goes into a quick 10 and 3. Now, keep in mind, teachers, we do not need to break both two-digit numbers because if students start breaking two-digit numbers, while they're solving for the sum, they might come across an error that will cause their result to be incorrect. So it's best practice for one two-digit number to be broken while the other one is left alone. Okay, so now that I have 10 and 3 for my number 13, I can group my 10 to the other number of 27, which is 27 plus 10 equals 37. After I do that 27 plus 10 equals 37, I'm going to follow my last step, which is to add 37 plus 3 equals 40. So in this strategy, the student broke the 13, the smaller number, into tens and ones in order to use the tens to add on to the other part. Good. Let's try a second problem, which is actually 27 plus 13 equals blank again. But in this case, I'm going to show you how you can use making the next 10 as a strategy. Again, in thinking about these two-digit numbers, we're going to break only one number. And in this case, I'm going to break the number 13 as well because it is the smaller number and it's easier to break into tens and 3. So when we're thinking about making the next 10, in particular this problem, because 27 is the larger one, I'm going to use that to make the next 10. So let's think about 27 and how many more it will take to get to the next 10. And if you think about it, it should be number 3. So once I break out my number 13, I should have a 3 and whatever's remaining, which is a 10. Now that I broke it down, my make 10 number sentence will be 27 plus 3 equals 30. Once I have that, I will follow my last step, which is to add the remaining 10. 30 plus 10 equals 40. So both strategies ended up with the same sum, just in two different ways. Let's try problem 3. 18 plus 12 equals blank. And I'm going to do the group 10 strategy. Again, I'm going to break my smaller number, in this case, which is the number 12, into 10 and 2. And once I broke my number into 10 and 2, I'm going to use the 10 to group it with the 18, making 18 plus 10 is 28. And then my last step will be to add the remaining, which is 28 plus 2 equals 30. Last one, we'll be using 18 plus 12 equals blank again, but this time making the next 10. Remember, when we're thinking about making the next 10, we want to make sure you're using the larger number, the one that is closest to the next 10. And in this case, 18 is the closest to the next 10. 18 and 2 more take us to the next 10, which means we'll break the number 12 into 2 and 10. And here you can see our 18 plus 2 will be 20. And our last step is to add the 10. 20 plus 10 equals 30. Now, teachers, both these strategies will make our students successful in finding the sum of two-digit numbers. Just keep in mind the way you word it, and especially keep in mind to tell students that you don't need to break both of the numbers in order to find the sum. Breaking one number is going to get you to the answer more efficiently and honestly quicker. All right, hope this helped. Happy teaching.